Good evening. Thank you all for coming tonight. We're going to go ahead and get started. If you'll please join me in a moment of reflection. Thank you very much. Tonight, for the Pledge of Allegiance, we have students from Highland Middle School that are going to come and lead us. Shortly. Mr. Thompson, for the approval of the agenda tonight.
We have a couple of additional items on the HR report that will be presented by Dr. Smith at that time. And we also have new business Highland Middle School early release proposal that we would like to add.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda with the additional items? Motion by Mrs. Shaley. Second by Mrs. Stewart. All in favor say aye. All opposed? That motion carries. And now for the approval of minutes.
We would like to ask you to approve the minutes as presented in your board packet.
Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
I'm sorry, I did hear it. Okay. We do have a motion. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Shaley. All in favor say aye. And all opposed? Okay, that carries. Superintendent comments.
We have a number of items tonight that we would like to recognize some of our students, as we always do, and we have some other situations that we would like to present to you. So at this time, Mrs. Ritchie, if you would like to come forward and talk about Ms. Kirsten Elder.
Yes, okay. Every year, the Satoma Club asks us, fifth graders in Anderson, to write essay. This year was what freedom means to me, and Kirsten Elder was one of three. Come on up here, Kirsten. That wrote this essay, and she actually won. And she's in Mrs. Lullithan's class, who Mrs. Lullithan is also here. You want to come up here too? No, she's good. And she's going to read her essay now.
Okay. Okay. What freedom means to me by Kirsten. Yes. Okay. When I think of freedom, I see raggedy clothes slaves escaping farms in search of freedom. Just imagine your family members being sold in an auction. Back then, some Americans thought of these people as nothing more than another farm animal to be overworked and beaten. Like the slaves, freedom means the opportunity to follow your dreams. Freedom isn't just a word. Freedom is equal rights. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and Frederick Douglass all fought for what they believed. They believed that all people should be treated fairly. They want everyone to know that mistreating people because of the color of their skin was wrong. Freedom is education, and Indian women are not educated. They stay at home with their kids and have to do what their husbands say. They also have to cover their faces with cloths so no other men can see. The women of India don't do what they're told and were asked at all. A good education would allow those same women to have their own careers. These women could earn their own money to take care of their families and not depend on men but on themselves to do what they want. Okay. Freedom means choice. In America, citizens have the freedom to carry guns for protection. They also have the right to say whatever they want. In America, citizens are free to have any kind of religion and worship in God in any way they want. Freedom is a privilege and it needs to be protected. Freedom can be taken away by terrorists who bomb buildings, towns, or airports. Our soldiers fight for us in all kinds of different countries to keep freedom safe. Soldiers lose their lives by choice. They don't have to go into the armed forces, but they do anyway for our lives and death.
Very good.
Kirsten, that was excellent. I am sure if our high school speech teacher was here, he would be salivating knowing that you're coming to the high school. You are very dramatic, and that is awesome as a speaker. Thank you very much. And also, we would like Mrs. Buchanan to come and share some information about the great things going on at Kilbuck.
I'll just hold it. Good evening, everyone. I came to just give some praise for Kilbuck, the families, the students, and the teachers. This year we participated in the Pennies for Our Patients Leukemia Lymphoma campaign, and our goal with just only 200 kids was $500. The first week our parents sent in $433.95. The second week our parents sent in $465.28. And our third week, parents sent in $862.55. Our school earned or donated a total of $1,969.98. And I just want to say I'm very proud of our parents, our students, and our staff for supporting and showing that we care. And it's just awesome to be in such a caring community.
Thank you, Ms. Buchanan. I'm sure it's because of your enthusiasm and leadership that this all came to fruition, so thank you very much. I would like to share with you briefly some information about our food rescue program. Many of you knew that back in October, we began to partner with one of our schools, Mr. Merkel in Erskine Elementary, was partnering with Food Rescue. And now we've expanded that. Eastside Elementary is sponsoring House of Hope and Park Place Food Pantry. Kilbuck sponsors Emmanuel Ministry Church and Food Kitchen. 10th Street Elementary is sponsoring Stepping Stones. And let me give you an example of some of the numbers just at Erskine. In the month of November and the partial month of December, Erskine collected for their food rescue program 1,899 milks, 1,377 juice, 811 fresh fruit, 68 cereal, 105 cereal bars, fruit cups counting to 1,264, and fresh veggies of 304. So all total, 6,678 food items were saved from the dumpster and placed in the hands of needy people, just from Erskine Elementary. And so would you please applaud them for that? And at this time, I'd like to have Mrs. Nalco come forward and share some information with the Sign Language 3 class.
I'm quick to know my students about the little presentation, and it's just merging a lesson in with the college and career readiness plan, and just some of their goals and dreams, and incorporate the sign language with the lesson.
Hi, my name is Robin Thomas. I'm a senior. Our teacher asked our class to create a project about college and career readiness, and also about our goals and 10 years. We are here today to present to you our personal projects about our goals and 10 years. In 10 years, my goal is to be in the field of philanthropy, which is a work that supports human welfare. The next few months, I have already applied to the Bonner Scholarship for Purdue University. I have finished finished my FAFSA, I've finished my SAT, and I've finished my ACT. I still need to study for my AP test in psychology and calculus. Next year, I will go to Purdue College with a declared major in philanthropy and business. And then I will continue to network within the philanthropy and business community. I also plan on doing community service internships throughout college. 5 years from now, I will graduate from college and take a year off of school to join the AmeriCorps visa. And in 10 years, I plan on having my degree in philanthropy and participating in my career choice.
Hi, my name is Marjorie Schoen. I am a senior and I am 18. My goal is to be content with life and to inspire someone. I will have finished the FAFSA already. I applied to college, have been accepted, and I have already confirmed my attendance there. I will be attending Columbia College in Chicago to be an ASL interpreter. To reach my goals, I need to finish the FAFSA, as I did. Today is the deadline. I signed up for Columbia College. Oh yeah, and I need to register for the colleges there, the classes there. And I need to graduate high school. Next year, I have to successfully transfer jobs into a Chicago location. And then I need to make the dean's list. And then I need to prove that I can stand on my own. In the next 5 years, I need to graduate from Columbia College, and I will become a licensed interpreter. I will see my boyfriend home from the Army, and I will get married and maybe have kids. In the next 10 years, I will buy a new car, and buy a new home, and hopefully inspire someone. I've had a lot of problems in my life, and I think that by doing these, I will achieve my happiness and be content with life. That is all. Thank you.
He goes back on the podium, honey.
Oh.
You know, it's amazing because if you walked around the high school, you would think the high school would be very quiet the way these two girls just spoke, but we know better than that. And I know you both very well, and I know you're not that quiet. You just must be shy tonight. But excellent job as always, and we thank you and Mrs. Analco for all that you've done to improve our ASL program. We thank you. I wanted to recognize and share with our board that this year we had a very strong emphasis on celebrating Black History Month, making sure our students understood the importance of all this going on in the month of February. And so we developed something new, and so I've asked Mrs. Pickett to share a little bit of information with you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Thompson and the board, for the invitation to have the opportunity to come and talk about something that we are doing for the first time this year. And we had a Black History Month essay contest. And I've passed out some packets of information so that you can see that this was a pretty in-depth look at Black History Month and what Black history means to the students in our building. You can see when you open up the front page, you can see a picture of our winners right on the front. I've also included some information on the 2 writing prompts that we use. We formulated these questions so that it matched very closely as to how they would need to write on their ECA test, and we were putting that together with our success periods. The first thing I'd like to do is introduce Mr. Bill Watson, who's sitting right here. Mr. Bill Watson and the Pitt graciously sponsored this entire essay contest, so all the money that was involved and the gifts that we were able to give the students were provided by the Pitt and to Mr. Watson. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce our winners, and you may not be surprised that our first place winner is Miss Marjorie Schoen. So there you go, there's a certificate right there. And Marjorie won the contest with her essay entitled We All Bleed Red, so she was given a $100 gift card. Our second place winner, and I'm not sure how many of the other students are here today, but our second place winner was Yarli Osuna, and she won a $50 gift card. Our third place winner was Alexis Peoples, and she won a $25 gift card. And we actually then had so many good entries that we decided to come up with 2 honorable mentions, like a 4th and a 5th place, for Ane Hernandez and Jaden Cox. So I will make sure that they get these certificates when we go back to the building. But again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Watson, for your generosity. We appreciate the support. It's always good to bring you some information about some donations. So, Mr. Brandon, would you like to step to the podium and share some information with us?
Good evening, Mr. Thompson, ACSC Board of Trustees, and the rest of the central office staff and community members. I guess first of all, thank you to Mrs. Pickett and Mr. Bill Watson for contributing to what I thought was a very successful showing for Anderson High School during Black History Month. We do have quite a few things to get through here, so I'll get started. Mr. Davis is under the weather, but he was able to write a grant to Vectren on behalf of Anderson High School, in which we received a $5,000 grant. And we're very thankful for that. It is earmarked for technology, and he has some ideas on how he'd like to make our media center have more media in it. So we'll be looking to use the money in that way. Also, we were able to obtain from the Tractor Supply on 1618 South Scatterfield Road, 18 free power tools, which we are going to turn over to Ms. Julie Morris at D26. Everything from angle grinders to hammer drills, several angle grinders, cutoff saw, metal shears, reciprocating saw, cordless drills, everything that they can use to make that construction building trades program very successful. Something that was near and dear to me when I worked at another high school, and I can't wait to see what they do with those things. So we're excited to get those into Mrs. Moore's hands and see what those students can do with them. Also, we were recipients of the Computers for Schools program, sponsored by Senator Donnelly, and we received 5 free HP computers to the high school, so we're thankful for that. I was able to meet with Missy Morris, who works with the Madison County Drug-Free Community and SAD through Intersect, and we were able to obtain 2 monetary donations from Missy Morris. The first, we have a community event called 100 People for 100 Minutes that'll take place on April 2nd, and we invite all of our board members and community to come out and see the showcase. She is sponsoring $750 for food and beverages that night. And secondly, which will segue into what Mrs. Durr is going to present, she also was able to donate $500 for our post-prom activities based on the activity that we have to propose to you all tonight.
Good evening. On behalf of the Anderson High School administration, staff, and students, I would like to thank you for allowing us to present our post-prom proposal this evening. Additionally, I would like to thank the post-prom committee members who worked very hard to ensure that we provide a safe, fun, and cost-effective post-prom option for our students. I believe there are a few committee members here this evening, so if you could stand, I would greatly appreciate it. I see them here. You can see that, it's okay. Okay, a few junior parents are here. We do also have several staff members who have been participating on the post-prom committee. They were not able to come this evening, but they have provided a lot of valuable input because obviously I'm new to the post-prom organizing game, so I have to take their input. As the committee began looking at options, various venues and activities were considered. In the end, the committee came up with a consideration and the students were surveyed. With the committee consideration and student survey results, tonight we bring you a field trip recommendation for your consideration. In lieu of a typical post-prom at a location in Anderson, we bring you a proposal for a school-sponsored trip to Kings Island. At this time, I will introduce Jason Kabir, who is currently a junior at Anderson High School, and he is going to provide some input on the student perspective on why we bring you this proposal.
Good evening. Like Mrs. Durr said, I'm kind of here to share with you kind of the students' view on this idea for post-prom. As part of the Junior Executive Council, we're busy planning prom, and so at the beginning of the semester, Mrs. Crenshaw approached us kind of to pick our brains and see what the students thought about post-prom and different ideas, because I understand that in the past couple of years it's been at Cooper's, and last year it was moved to the high school in efforts to try to bring more students out to the event. But the turnout hasn't been what it's hoped to have been. So she was kind of asking us what our ideas were for what would bring more students to post-prom, what would attract students to come. And so we kind of talked about it. We didn't really feel so great about the idea about having it at school. We didn't think that was something that was very attractive to students, and so I kind of talked around to some of my peers, and they weren't really interested in either of the ideas, either at Cooper's as it has been traditionally, or at the school. And a lot of that is coming from this kind of long-standing unspoken tradition of the students going to Kings Island that Sunday after prom. So usually you leave early in the morning just so you can get your best use out of the day. So a lot of kids just didn't want to go to post-prom after prom because they didn't want to be out too late because they'd be getting up early the next morning, like I said, to drive out to Kings Island. So that was kind of the feeling with post-prom, and kind of, I think, a large contributor to why it hasn't been that widely attended in the past couple of years. So I think the idea for kind of taking buses over to Kings Island for post-prom is a great idea. It would be a lot cheaper for the students, be a lot safer, because I know my parents aren't really too thrilled about the idea of me driving or another student driving all the way to Kings Island when we've been tired from the night before with prom and everything. So I think it'd be a great opportunity for us, to have a safe way there and a safe way back. You can sleep on the bus, whatever. And I think it would be, a better use of the school's funds and a better use of our volunteers, the committee, a better use of their energy to kind of go forward with this, because I think it's kind of inevitable that the students are going to Kings Island the day after, whether we have the field trip or not. And so if we don't have the field trip, I think, post-prom may not go as we would hope it to. So that's just kind of how the students feel about it.
Stay up there, Jason.
All right.
So let's see if the board has any questions about that. We won't vote on that until we get to a later part of the agenda, but we'll put that to a vote. But do you have any questions?
I do. Do students have to go to the prom in order to go to post-prom?
No, we have separate ticket prices, and that was kind of the idea. If students couldn't afford to go to both, they could go to one or the other or both if they wanted to. So it's not.
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea to include them from when I was in high school. post-prom was everybody got reservations for the cabins on the lakes. When the kids disappeared, and mom and dad said thank you. Sounds like you've got a well-planned idea, and an idea that's for everybody's safety, and a very nice person.
Since this will be something on the agenda that needs to be approved later, are there any other questions that might help clear up any concerns or uncertainty for board members?
Just a quick question, is it limited to just students only, or?
I believe we are planning on having adult chaperones.
You have to have adult chaperones.
Correct.
I was referencing if the student could take like a family member or.
It'll be regulated for the students to ride the buses. We have 5 buses set aside. With that said, we can take, there's 4 buses that seat 52, and one of our buses seat 44. And we got Missy involved because it really is students against destructive decisions. We want to make sure that we monitor them, that they have check-in points with us. The ratio from going out of state is one chaperone for every 8 students. So we want to make sure that we have a lot of our parents out there, check-in times, check-in points, and not give them the opportunity to be tired. If they want to sleep on the bus after a late night, that's great. But that's what we're looking at.
Any other questions?
I guess just to follow up on the question, will this be limited to Anderson High School students?
Yes.
Well, thank you for your out-of-the-box thinking, Jason. I know you're a very good leader. Let me throw something out at you. You can think about this for a year, because grad night 2016 at Disney World. Okay, thank you very much, Anderson High School. And great job, if you would express to Mr. Davis on the effort of getting this $5,000 donation and all the other donations you've received. They help us in numerous ways. At this time, Mr. Brown is going to share some information with the public for the first time.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. As the board is aware, we periodically embark on promotional campaigns that take various forms. We are in the throes of working on yet another one, and we wanted to share with you some preliminary designs. We took input from the business office, the special ed department, the student services department, and the curriculum department of the school corporation, and solicited suggestions, ideas, and formats. I'm fortunate enough to have Mrs. Amy Todd, that's my assistant. She's very, very skilled at this sort of thing. And so I just want to take through you the preliminary designs that we're looking at, just to give you a flavor of where we're headed with the current campaign. It surrounds billboards, and that's the first round. And so the designs we're looking at are very varied, I might say. This one, where students are always the focus, the lens of the camera. This one being fairly simple. They go from simple to more complex, and we're evaluating right now to see which ones we want to actually utilize. We will, I'll say that at the end. Another one, Education Without Limits, not your disability, but it's not your disability. It's your ability, not your disability, that matters. I'm getting ahead of myself. So another example, and of course we will get releases for any of the photographs that we use, whether they be our students or other folks. We also wanted to include the theme of trying to get family input and participation in the educational process. So we put together a couple of billboards that also emphasize that. You can see here's one example, making it clear that the parents' involvement is key to these students' success. Another version of that, with a little bit of different wording and all, we think would be very, very effective in trying to get families involved in their children's education. Innovation, looking at the technology and the curriculum aspect of things, and just to show the community these are the broad and diverse things that we're trying to emphasize. Moving to a different concept, looking at some of the history of the corporation and the successes of the corporation. I'm sure everyone in the room recognizes Mr. Carl Erskine and the success that he had being an Anderson High School graduate. And the next one is a little bit more contemporary, and that is Mr. Pistol, the new president of Anderson University, and the great success that he's had in his lifetime, also being an Anderson High School graduate. So these are some of the ideas that we've come up with thus far. I just wanted to give you an interim report on the things that we're looking at, and hopefully you'll be seeing some of these in and about the community in the upcoming months.
So why are we doing this? 504 students as of September, early October of this school year were using school vouchers to go to other schools or do online. It is our responsibility as a school community to retain these students in the appropriate way. And the appropriate way is to reach out to them and share with them that we care about them and we want them to come home. So, April 4th, we have teams of principals, teachers, anyone that wants to be involved. We're knocking on doors. We know the names of the students that are using vouchers. And if they're not there, we've got a nice little doorknob hanger that talks about all the great things going on in Anderson Community Schools. It is our responsibility to make the effort to retain our students. So the billboards will rotate. I believe it's April 1st through July 1st. One effort to do a marketing blitz to get our students back. And I say our students because they all live within the Anderson boundaries. Thank you, Mr. Brown. They have done an outstanding job with this. I know, Mr. Tiarina, your students are excited to get going. I'm going to brief this other. I just want to thank, I see our AFT members in the back. We have struggled this year with the legislator bringing about some new ideas that we're very concerned with. And so I just wanted to share with you that we are making every effort together to share with our legislators that we're concerned. We're concerned with a number of items. The funding formula, we're concerned with the A to F accountability model. So an email was sent to the entire staff asking them, it's more important for teachers to reach out to the State Board of Education and tell them of their concerns. Here's the number one concern. Our current grading model is being changed again. Now, that's not what's important. What's important is the fact that they're changing the test again. And next year, they change it again. Our suggestion is this, and this is what we've written to them, and numerous people have done this, and I appreciate our staff so much, the support of AFT. We have to let them know that we believe, Anderson Community Schools believes, the best thing that the state of Indiana can do is get the appropriate testing in place, go ahead and pilot that testing for a year or two, and then put an accountability model into place. Right now, no one even knows exactly what that model looks like. We don't know how it's going to be weighted, and it's not fair to our staff. It's not fair to our community. When we're trying to reach out, bring people in, the community itself, Mayor Smith, is bringing in numerous businesses, and it's not going to make a difference if we don't improve our school grades. You can't improve school grades if you don't know what the mark is. So sorry, I'm trying to be very impassionate about this, but I am passionate about it. Today I got invited down to the legislature. It didn't work because we have a meeting tonight. So Jan Kenninger took my, I think it was a 4-page typed letter to emphasize to them, before we ever start the school year, we are $9 million in the hole. With the new funding formula, add another 1.2 million, maybe it'll be less. We don't know. They don't know. That's why we don't know. So we're just saying, you need to look at the urban schools and how you're negatively affecting us. And you know, it's sad when after the first session, legislative session, Governor Pence remarked that it was very successful. It was successful because of two things, two items. One, the new funding formula was put in place. That funding formula kills urban schools. And secondly, he took the tax caps off, or the funding formula off, and the caps off charter schools. Okay? So what does that say to me? That says we don't care about you, the public school. So we're very concerned about that. And so we have to make and clearly articulate our concerns. And we think we've done that. We've made the effort to do that over and over again. And that's because of everybody working together. So, Tom, if you want to address that more during your time, please do so. But I just wanted to thank you guys for that and that support. And I was hoping Jan Kenninger would get back to share information from today, but she is not. So that's a lengthy superintendent's comment, so I apologize, Mr. Gale, so it's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. I will keep my comments short, at least shorter than his. I did want to just recognize our entire community of educators, those who come to Anderson Community Schools every day. This year we know that ISTEP was a little more stressful and perhaps a little more frustrating than the norm. There was a lot happening at the State House. There was a lot happening in the media. You all got through the first part of it, at least. So that's behind us. So thank you for dealing with the frustrations and the stress that came along with it this year and doing so in such a positive manner. I also want to thank the parents and the students. Parents, thank you for sending your kids prepared to take those tests, and students, thanks for giving your best. So a situation that could have been more negative, I think we did our best here in Anderson to keep it positive and do our best and keep the students' needs at the focus. So thank you all. Next we go to the school showcase for Highland Middle School. Mr. Tiarina.
We interrupt this board meeting for an important commercial broadcast. Oh, excuse me. Good evening, and welcome to WHMS Radio. I'm your host, Charlie Debris. Now for the Highland Middle School's top 10 reasons why we are the best. Number 10, student clubs. Chess club.
Chess club!
Math club.
What's pie? Huh? Oh, pie! Math club!
Robotics.
Go, 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 go! We win! Robotics!
Art club.
Crazy colors.
Art club!
Drama club, an international thespian troupe.
1. Let's get dramatic 2. Let's get dramatic 3.
Let's get dramatic 4!
Coming soon.
Number 9. Sports. Boys and girls basketball.
Basketball!
Football.
Football!
Volleyball.
Volleyball!
Co-ed soccer.
Soccer!
Golf.
4. Golf!
Co-ed tennis.
Tennis!
Co-ed cross country.
Cross country!
Softball and baseball.
Softball, baseball!
Track and field.
Track and field!
Number 8. Extracurricular activities. Junior Quiz Bowl team.
Solve for pi. 3.14159. That's enough. Quiz bowl. Quiz bowl.
Junior musicals.
Aladdin! Aladdin! Wonka!
Beauty and the Beast. Broader. And the outstanding award-winning choir and band.
Do. La 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 la.
Number 7. Students have the opportunity to earn 8 high school credits.
That's me!
Number 6. HMS is a separate 6th grade academy to keep the little buggers away from us.
I resemble that remark.
Number 5. Next year, 6th graders, students, will each have their own school-provided computer.
That's not fair. No.
Number 4. High-ability classes for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students and trips to the Indiana Repertory Theater.
Hey, what?
3. Technology classes, robotics, engineering and tech, keyboarding, advanced computer, and apps. Number 2. HMS provides a safe and orderly environment with a kind and caring. And number 1. Finally, each day we are one step closer to becoming an Anderson Indian and graduation.
Woo!
I would say that's a flair for dramatic. So, Mr. Brandon, top
We're
that.
not quite done yet.
Oh, you're not done? Oh, my.
And for the finale.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon, I can go to space. In the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way.
Because I'm happy clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy clap along if you know what happiness is to you. I'm happy clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Happy.
Real quick, a little bit longer than 7 minutes this time, but we wanted to make sure that they're the focus. This is why we get up and go to work. We wanted them to be a part of it. I'd like a round of applause for them. They've been at school since after school. They've not been home. They've been practicing, they've been coming up to school, we bust them over, and so they wanted to be part of it. We wanted them to be a part of it, so that was their show, not mine.
Thank you very much. That was outstanding, students. And I would imagine that'll be on YouTube within 5 minutes.
I can only be grateful that we had to cut the other video off, because that part of the video would have been something that maybe Mr. Brandis and I and Mr. Secker don't exactly want to be seen. So.
And that being said, it can be seen on YouTube. You can go to Anderson Community Schools website and see it as well.
And I believe that was the 3 male principals and assistant principals in cheerleading outfits. And that's all I'm going to say, so check it out. So thank you very much for your enthusiasm.
Wow, thank you. Almost don't even see a point to continue on with the meeting. I wish they could have just closed us out with that, but we're going to move forward with the agenda to the Parent Advisory Council. Is anyone here from the Parent Advisory Council? Oh, there's Cammie.
I agree, we should just stop then. Who wants to, please don't just totally tune out now. I'm not here with no music or anything. Okay. I just wanted to, I haven't been here for a couple meetings, so I can't believe that I'm happy to tell that. Okay, this is really important. I just wanted to update you on some things. We continue to receive donations monthly in our collection boxes for the uniforms, and deliver those to our partners. Just love having those 2 partner churches, Allen Chapel and First Church of the Nazarene. I even heard that Mrs. Weatherly shared with me that she visited 3rd graders at Anderson Elementary. I still need to delve into that and find out what exactly that was all about, but hopefully she'll get to come. I've been able to represent parents on the committee, the Task Force 100, and I just wanted to say that it's been a great opportunity to hear from community members that are on this with me and work with them on support for this alternative form of educating students. And a main point that I'm not going to forget in participating in this is the stability and longevity that they want to see with this program, not as in the past, like just a whim of things. And you're going to hear more about this Compass here at the end if you stick around. So stick around, it's a little teaser, stick around. You'll want to hear about Compass. Building updates. My rep at Highland, Amber Longmaker, and I met with Mr. Brandis and didn't see any cheerleading skirts or anything like that, but we were moving forward. We want to help them with parent involvement there, and so we just finally had an opportunity to meet with them and say, you know, how can we start helping you with your goals for parent involvement? So we're excited to have some opportunities for them at the upcoming literacy night, and I'm working with Mrs. Rusher is also a contact person there. She has so much she does there. So we're excited to get started doing that with them there. And then Jamie Smith and Red at Anderson High School, we met with Mr. Brandon, and he shared that the greatest need right now is helping with the funding the senior class activities. So, but Lauren Crenshaw and I have talked about having some ongoing types of communication with parents at the beginning of the school year, where the focus is on their involvement, when the beginning of their involvement, so we don't have a rush to alleviate this last minute rush of fundraising needs. And then lastly, we appreciated Mr. Thompson including parents in the focus on the funding legislation, as this is something parents really need to be knowledgeable about. I wish we had more manpower we could allocate for this to really be able to share with parents all the legislation and the funding and how that really affects their children's education. So I appreciate the survey part and the trying to help them have a way to contact the legislatures. I also wanted to thank Mr. Tirino for the informative message to parents about that unfortunate incident with the Shenandoah students, because I heard many compliments from parents on how that was handled and how they appreciated the information that was presented in that phone call. At this point in the year, I really know more about parents at the secondary schools. That's where my focus is. Unfortunately, I apologize, don't hear as much from the elementary representatives, but our goal at the end for this next month is to assist elementary and secondary buildings with staff appreciation. We really would like to end the year with all of the reps helping get parents involved with that at the end of the year. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Slavin. Next, we have comments from patrons. I have one person signed up to speak tonight, Mr. Will Dubree. If you would come to the podium, and if you would start by just saying your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Will Dubree, and I live at 4093 Alexandria Pike. And my English teacher has been out for about 3 weeks now, I think it is, Mr. Mark Hodson. And rumor has it that he has been suspended or laid off or something, but me and some other students have gotten a petition together, and I have it with me today. And it's not finished. I was hoping to get more signatures in this, but not finished yet. So, I suppose I'll read it then. We, the undersigned, would like to express our profound concern with the manner in which our class, Freshman Honors English, is being conducted. The fact that we have had a variety of substitute teachers leading this high-level class is entirely unacceptable. We feel that our teacher, Mr. Hodson, needs to return to his position as instructor of Freshman Honors English immediately. Without his guidance and expertise, we will not be prepared for the academic rigor that awaits us in the near future. Respectfully submitted, current and former honors students of current and former honors English students of Mr. Hodson.
Thank you. Would you like to present the signatures to the board? Is that your intent? Okay, you can bring them up to us. I'll make sure all board members receive this. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the Anderson Federation of Teachers, Mr. Fortner.
Good evening. I would, first of all, as for the AFT, would like to take a minute and just congratulate the wonderful students from Highland and all the other students that we've seen and recognized tonight, and also recognize, for their part, the parents who play a vital role in those students' achievement, as well as all the teachers and all the staff for ACS for the fine job they're doing as well. Clearly, you can see that we have some excellent students and are getting a very good education. Also like to thank the veterans, Senator Joe Donnelly, and all the other people or parties that may have contributed to ACS, because we do appreciate that. It does help the teachers in the classroom and just adds to the education experience. I would also like to address just briefly the issue over the AF grading as well. The State Board of Education, now that's the Board of Education that's appointed by the governor, not the Department of Education, will be having hearings on Senate, on this bill about the A through F system and teacher evaluation on Thursday. Today is Tuesday. That still gives anyone who hasn't submitted comments still a couple of days to get comments submitted. I would encourage any teacher, I would encourage any student. We've had some students who have stood up and been very well spoken tonight, or any parent. Go to the website for Indiana. You can do a search. You can find a place to give comments on this, and every bit of effort you can help is a help for the school system. Without the appropriate funding and without an appropriate A through F grading system and without an appropriate testing program, it makes it very difficult for us to succeed in what we know we want to do, and it makes it very difficult for this school system to operate. There was even one senator, state senator, who made the comment that I just could not believe. He said that it costs more money to educate children in the suburbs than it does in an urban district. And I just cannot understand. I can't imagine that the Carmels and the Westfields and the Hamilton Southeasterns would actually have very many students that are on free and reduced lunch, free and reduced book fees, et cetera, et cetera. So any effort parents, teachers, staff can make, we would appreciate that. It will only help our school system, hopefully, in the end. You also did mention something about being dramatic tonight. I'm not usually inclined to be dramatic. I am anxiously awaiting the HR report, and so after the board does approve it, and I know who you are, you better approve it. If you hear a whoop in the back, it will be me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fortner. And you know, we kind of like you. We may not want to approve that. I don't know. I don't see any items for topics for discussion, so we move on to board actions. Mr. Thompson, we have consent items.
Yes, Mr. Brown, would you please present the financial report?
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. I'd like to direct the board's attention to page 4 and the accompanying resolution on page 5. And I do bring to you this evening a recommendation to approve the payment of claims that you received in your mailing. They're numbered 50219 through 50677.
Is there a motion to approve? So moved. Motion by Mr. Long. Is there a second?
Second.
Is that by Dr. Hill? Second by Dr. Hill. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
Next item is a resolution, and let me start by saying that our bond restructuring and refunding closed today. So that's very, very good news. It closed as we expected, at the rates generally as we expected, and the return of cash for capital improvements as we expected. So that's very, very good news. Along with that, we have a resolution that addresses the post-bond issuance compliance procedures on page 6 and 7, reading for insomnia, quite honestly. And the resolution is basically, it says, we're going to comply with the law by doing all these compliance procedures after the issuance of the bond. So I think that's really nice that the board gets to pass a resolution saying that we're going to follow the law. But that's basically what it is. And so I would recommend the passage of resolution R 2015-17 on pages 6 and following.
So, motion to approve by Mr. Long. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Stewart. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. For the Human Resources Report this evening, we have a number of items in your packet. First of all, we have a resignation of Mr. Mike Burkett, Social Success Academy math teacher at Anderson High School. Had a conversation with Mr. Burkett. He sounds like he has a wonderful lot waiting for him out in Colorado. So he is actually moving very soon, so we wish him the best in his new endeavors. Retirement of Karen Sipes, English and drama teacher at Highland Middle School. We have a paraprofessional position that was eliminated from 10th Street. New hires, non-certified, Ruby Leonard, custodian at Erskine Elementary School. Courtney Speckman, a dietitian for food services at the administration building. Deborah Spencer, classroom assistant at Edgewood Elementary School. We have the resignation of Mr. Joe Swallows, a special education paraeducator at Highland Middle School. Coaching placements, Michael Burge, assistant baseball coach at Highland Middle School. Gary Corder, co-ed golf coach, Highland Middle School. Alyssa Hess, softball coach, Highland Middle School. Tim Hurd, girls track coach, Highland Middle School. And Adam Roberson, boys track coach, Highland Middle School. We have one administrative leave of absence. We have, and these are on the new additional items. Mr. Joseph Nataline resigned as our head boys basketball coach. There's a gentleman who walks around this building quite often in a beard and glasses who has finally turned in his retirement letter, Mr. Tom Fortner. Travis Clay is a new hire custodian at Anderson High School, and John David, a custodian at Anderson High School, and the resignation of Sarah Madison, alternative paraeducator at Erskine Elementary School. Those are all the items, so I propose to you Resolution R-2015-14 for your approval.
So moved. I heard a motion to approve by Mrs. Stewart, and was that a second by Mr. Long? All in favor say aye. All opposed? Oh, Mr. Fortner, I almost voted no, just to have one on the record, but, all right, well, congratulations, Mr. Fortner.
And since Tom is here, I just want to thank him for his years of service to Anderson Community Schools. Is it 40 exactly, Mr. Fortner? 40 years?
40 or 41, somewhere, that's close enough.
Right in that ballpark. So thank you very much for your service. One additional thing I want to point out to everybody as you leave, the artwork in the back of the room tonight, we want to recognize this at Highland Middle School. We're going to start recognizing the art students from each of the schools who are recognized during the board meetings. And so Highland was lucky enough to be our first one. So as you go back there tonight, check out their artwork because they've done a great job for us. The second item is Resolution R-2015-12. Back in January, we made this change, and with my title change at the last month's meeting, we need to make one quick change for the Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources as the principal. This is the Indiana code that appoints the Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources to be the principal for the purposes of preparing and issuing written notice of the principal's preliminary decision pursuant of Indiana Code 20-28-7.5-1 involving the cancellation of teacher contracts. So this again is just a retitling. This was under Mr. Crevison's name. We changed it to Human Resources Director when I first came on board, and now we just need to change it to the title of Assistant Superintendent.
Is there a motion to approve? So moved. Motion by Mr. Long, second by Mrs. Shaley. All in favor say aye. All opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you. And one last item. I know Mr. Creviston began working on this back in the fall, and one of the things that I've noticed through conversations after being here for a few months now is one of the big needs that we have here at Anderson Community Schools is substitute teachers and retaining good quality substitute teachers and making sure that all of our positions are filled on a daily basis. And so what we've come up with is a proposal that hopefully will improve and increase the number of substitute teachers we have in our pool. And what we would like to recommend is that we open up a new category for substitute teachers for retired teachers, and that those retired teachers, if they agree to come and sub, would make $25 additional above the highest certified pay, which at this point in time is $75, and we're going to go with a dollar amount increment so that if for some reason we raise our certified to $80, it would go to $105 and $85 to $110, etc. So as I look at things, we have 8 surrounding school districts within 20 miles of Anderson Community Schools. So our goal is to obviously reach out to Anderson retired teachers, but also to probably incorporate some other outlying communities that have retired teachers living in them to bring in a better pool, quality pool, and to bring in some certified people who can actually teach classes in long-term sub-issues and situations that we might have. So I recommend to you tonight the ability to create this new level of pay for retired teacher subs at $25 above our highest certified amount.
There's a motion to approve by Mr. Long.
Support.
Second by Dr. Hill, I think I heard first. There's a question by Mrs. Shane.
The resolution as it's written says they'll be paid $100 per day.
And we sent another one. Did you not get that? Okay, I apologize. Cheryl had sent another, we've created another one that has that, so we'll get that to you to certify the right amount.
Can we go ahead and vote on this, even though it's written differently? With the amended to say $25 in addition to regular sub pay?
Right. So, Mr. Long, your motion, your original motion.
Was on the $25 over.
Okay, so that was
certified pay.
That was a motion to approve as presented by Dr. Smith.
Correct.
Okay.
I do have a question.
Okay, Mr. Long.
When will that $25 take effect?
Upon your approval.
Okay, so we would start tomorrow morning.
We will notify retired teacher. We will put a notice out. Mr. Hirsch is here. He'll help us get this in the paper. And then we'll get that out. And then I will have to go through a verification process that they are a retired teacher. But once that happens, we will be able to pursue that, yes.
Okay, are there any other questions?
Before we leave HR, just in case Tom Faulkner has to leave the room, I wanted to say, Tom, as a school board member, how much I have appreciated your willingness to communicate and collaborate. I feel like you've been fair and equitable. You've certainly served with multiple superintendents with integrity, and I know you've heard other folks express appreciation for you and your service to the school district, but as a school board member, I would like to say thank you too.
All right, so we do have a motion to approve the retired teachers substitute teaching pay as presented by Dr. Smith. We have a motion, we have a second. Are there any other questions? All in favor say aye. All opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you. I am also going to carry forward in lieu of Mr. Glaze not being with us this evening and do resolution R-2015-15 on page 30. This is our field trip report on pages 25 through 29. And I recommend to you that resolution for your approval.
So moved. There's a motion by Mr. Long. Now, just as a note before we get too far, the high school post-prom trip, I don't see on here. Should that? Okay, so that would be in addition to what's written here. Mr. Long, would you want to make a motion to change it with the addition of the high school post-prom trip?
Yes, I would make a motion that we approve the field trips report with the addition of the post-prom trip.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Long. Is there a second to his motion that includes the Highland post-prom trip?
Second.
Second by Mr. Wright.
The high school trip.
The high school trip, yes. Are there any questions or comments? Mrs. Stewart? Okay, yeah, since it's out of state, in case nobody heard it, this is to give authority to the school to take the trip. Since it's out of state, it doesn't include any funding or anything of that nature. Were there any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, next it looks like we're to new business. Mrs. McCammon.
Mr. Gale, before Kevin starts, I just wanted to make one quick comment to the young man who made the presentation earlier. Thank you for bringing that forward. I just want to say before you maybe left the room, if the presentation got to you, that you're the kind of student to be actively and civically engaged in bringing issues forward. Thank you for your participation in doing that.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, before I get started, I'd like to invite Miss Mandy Kelly and Miss Amy Urbanski, if they are here, to come up.
I was invited to introduce Amanda, but I've had the privilege since November, I think, we've had community meetings looking at ways to solve some of the issues that we're having at the high school, middle school level. There's been about 25 people that have sat on this committee. We've all brainstormed with some ideas, and Miss Amanda McCammon, I was going to say Gammon, is going to present that to you.
Thank you. So I'm here this evening to talk to you about an opportunity to bring the schools, community organizations, mentors, partnering together for the student success of Anderson students. We're calling this Compass, this new program we're calling Compass. One reason is because the acronym makes a lot of sense. Secondly, because a compass is used to guide you in the direction in which you are intended to go. So that's what we're hoping to do through this unique program for our Highland Middle School and Anderson High School students. The mission statement of this program is to provide wraparound services for Anderson School students within a safe and caring environment throughout the involvement of parents and community organizations to improve student engagement and outcomes. So what we're proposing is taking a population of students from Highland Middle School and from Anderson High School that are in need of wraparound services in order to be behaviorally, socially, and academically successful, and provide an off-campus location for them to receive those services along with their educational services. Some of the steps that we've already completed, we've had a variety of community forum meetings. We've discussed the data. We've had some brainstorming sessions about what this program might look like. We've also formed an advisory board, which Ms. Mandy Kelly, as well as Amy Urbanski, parents, and many other community members are a part of. We've held some committee meetings. Also Stephanie Moran on the board, thank you. We've had several committee meetings with the Anderson High School Committee, the Highland Middle School Committee, as well as there's a committee here at Central Office, looking at a variety of different angles and items specific to this program. We've conducted an Anderson School staff survey, which I'll be sharing the results with you here shortly. And also we've just had a lot of collaboration between those different entities to discuss what this program might look like and how we would serve students through this program. As we've looked at some of the data in the community forum meetings, here's some of what we've looked at. Highland Middle School and Anderson High School specific enrollment, as well as referrals. And this data was actually pulled back in November. So these referrals are actually reflective of referrals from November. Of those referrals, we had a small percentage of the population that were what we're considering to be repeat offenders. So this is the population that we're really targeting with this new Compass program. And as you can see there, it was approximately 6% at Highland and 7% at Anderson High School that were students that were repeat offenders. Of those, 50% approximately at Highland and 41% at Anderson were for defiance and disruptive behaviors that were taking away from that learning and teaching environment within the home schools. But a nice note on this data piece is that we also had 56% of our students at Highland that were doing exactly what they should be doing. And then another 58% at Anderson High School that again were doing exactly what our students should be doing in the classrooms. The survey that I mentioned earlier that was conducted with our staff, we had 170 secondary staff members respond. So that would be grades 6 through 12. And from that data, we collected that those individuals were supportive of the concept and goals. So 95.7% said that they generally supported the concept and goals of this Compass program. 98.8% said they supported the program model. of looking at Anderson High School versus Highland Middle School a little bit differently for this off-campus location in terms of criteria, et cetera, which we're going to talk about here in just a moment. And then also 92.4% supported the proposed structure in terms of having an off-campus location for this program and for these wraparound services for the students. Overall, 97.1% believe that the program could help to create safer environments and more orderly environments within Highland Middle School and Anderson High School for all students and staff. In order for students to be placed into this Compass program that we are proposing, there would be a team of individuals listed here that would participate in looking individually at that student's needs, and whether or not this would be a good placement for that individual. Eligible students, according to the state, have a variety of things that we look at, and this is according to the State Department of Ed. They have to have intended to withdraw or withdrawn, failed academically, be a parent or be expecting to be a parent, be employed with that employment being necessary, or disruptive as defined by this Indiana code. The Highland Middle School team and the Anderson High School team looked at the criteria specific for their grade levels in order to place a student, things that they would consider as a good placement. The student could meet 3 of the following criteria listed here, which have to do with repeating grades, attendance, overall GPA, failing specific numbers of academic subjects, if they'd already been enrolled in an alternative setting in a previous school, or if they had a discipline record. They also might consider one of the following criteria, including being referred by juvenile probation, being a previous dropout, having extensive personal, emotional, behavioral, or medical problems, or if they have a history of substance abuse. Separately, the Anderson High School team looked at how successful were they were in Success Academy, which is currently a program that we offer at Highland Middle School as an 8th grader. If they were in the Success Academy as a 9th grader, how successful were they? Also, they looked at what's called double negative behavior. So they're looking at behavior and academic. And if they struggle in both of those areas, then they might be a good candidate for this program. And lastly, if they've accumulated 3 or more out-of-school suspensions or assignments to the detention school. We've drafted a schedule with a variety of different services. You can see here their instructional day would go from 8 to 2, and then they would have a variety of wraparound services on that campus that are listed here. Everything from ISTEP prep, online learning, face-to-face learning, physical activity, character ed, life skills, mentoring, counseling, anger management, community service, character education, career education, and the list goes on and on. In terms of staffing, for the Highland Middle School and Anderson High School to start out this program, we would need 2 core subject teachers in English Language Arts and Math, and we're hoping to find someone dual licensed in mild intervention. One of those teachers would serve as a lead teacher so that they could do the intakes and have that initial contact with the parent. And then also we would ask for 2 instructional assistants, and we'd be serving about 40 students to start with, and then we would expand as we needed to. We would also move what we're calling currently this year as a detention school that was originally housed at the Paradigm Place, and now it's over at E26 because there was a water issue at Paradigm Place. We would move that program out to this location as well, and move along with it the teacher EA, the SRO out there as well. Other staff that we would need to consider would be nursing staff, custodial staff, mentors, and homeschool advisors to really provide the wraparound services that we want to provide to those students and to their families to try to break down the barriers of the issues that they're seeing that's keeping them from being academically successful. So at this time, I will just open it up for any comments or questions in regards to this new Compass program.
Are there any questions? Okay. If there are no questions, we do need to take a vote tonight to authorize it to move forward with this. Assuming that we're in favor of it. So I would take a motion.
Making a motion that we do approve the Compass program as presented.
Okay, a motion by Mr. Long to approve the Compass program. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Wright. One last chance for any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Mrs. McCammon. Next, Highland Middle School early release proposal. Mr. Tiarina.
I'll be brief. Ladies and gentlemen of the board and Superintendent Thompson again, this is a proposal that Highland Middle School is asking really to give you information on this proposal. And what we'd like, our proposal is for Highland Middle School to add 1 early release day per month. This would be in addition to our current priority plan that we have now. And what we'd like it to do is to mirror the current schedule that's at Anderson High School right now, which would take care of some of the transportation issues, and that's what we would like to see. With this, I have had really conversations with lots of different people involved with this. Our outreach coordinator from the Department of Education, Kathy McCarty, and with Tom Forkin, the president of the AFT. Both of these people are in favor of this move, of something that Highland would be able to do. What we're looking at really for our goal and our plan for this is to have kind of an every other month with department collaboration mixed in with professional development. And that's what we would plan our early release days for. Our department collaboration, what we would like here is for across grades to meet in subject matter. For example, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math teachers could all meet at the same time. And that way we can decide our vertical alignment. So 6th grade math at the end, beginning and end, are we getting everything we need to get in the middle? That would be one thing that we see with that. The other thing we'd like to be able to do is to have the entire grade meet. Currently they'd be able to meet in teams but not all together. So now here's a whole 8th grade team, every 8th grade teacher meeting at the same time. What are 8th grade issues? How can we address them? What does our curriculum look like? Is it what we need it to be? And this would give them time to do that too with our collaboration. The other part would be professional development opportunities. These are ones that we have sat down and developed. And these are all within our capability here at Anderson in order to provide. Technology is a big one, especially with the Chromebooks coming for the students. One of our plans is for the 6th grade then to really concentrate on that Chromebook training. As the year would go on, we would transition that to the 7th grade because those Chromebooks will be moving to 7th grade, then to get those teachers those trainings. And everything else are things that we need now as well. Special education topics, the Google Suite, behavior specialists, just to offer a different variety of different things for teachers to pick to be able to go get professional development during this early release day. That's our proposal.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve? So, motion to approve by Mr. Long. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Maria. Are there any questions or comments on this?
I just had a question. When would this begin? Would this be next fall or
Yes,
do
we
you
would
begin
like
now?
to begin in the fall.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Tierney.
Thank you.
I would like to state that I really appreciate Mr. Tiarina and your entire administrative staff taking a team approach to try to resolve some of the issues that have been pointed out prior to this within your priority plan. So I believe that this will be a very welcome part of what needs to take place as you continue to improve Highland Middle School. So thank
And
you.
we did a staff survey to make sure this was something that they would be comfortable with and their concerns we're able to address to a satisfactory manner. So we think that it's something that everybody will get benefit from. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see any items for future agendas, so I would take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mrs. Shaley, a second by Mr. Long. All in favor say aye. All opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.